I was staring at my computer screen when my boss's voice cut through the Monday morning silence like a knife. "Everyone, can I have your attention, please?" Jennifer stood at the head of the conference room, her perfectly manicured hand resting on the back of my chair. The entire marketing department turned to look at us. My stomach dropped. I just wanted to congratulate Sarah on her promotion to Director of Marketing. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Though I have to say, I'm surprised the announcement came so suddenly. Makes you wonder what kind of special skills she demonstrated to the CEO behind closed doors. The room went silent. Someone coughed. I felt my face burning as she squeezed my shoulder, her nails digging in through my blazer. "Jennifer!" "That's not," I started. "Oh, I'm just kidding," she laughed, but nobody else did. "You all know how these things work in corporate America, right? It's not always about what you know." She winked at Marcus, my friend from the design team, who looked horrified. "Anyway, congratulations, Sarah. You certainly earned it." Somehow, she walked out, leaving me sitting there with 20 pairs of eyes staring at me. My hands were shaking. I'd worked at Tech Vision Solutions for 6 years. I'd landed our 3 biggest clients this year alone. And now, in 30 seconds, she destroyed everything. That was 3 months ago. And I'm about to tell you exactly how I made her pay for it. But first, you need to understand how I got here. My name is Sarah Chen. I'm 32, a single mom to my 7-year-old daughter Emma. And until that Monday morning, I thought I'd finally made it. The promotion meant a $40,000 raise, equity in the company, and finally being able to afford a house instead of our cramped 2-bedroom apartment. My ex-husband Tom had been sending increasingly aggressive texts about custody, claiming I was never home, that Emma deserved better. The promotion was supposed to fix everything. More money meant I could work less, spend more time with Emma, maybe even take her to Disneyland like I'd promised. Instead, by Tuesday afternoon, I was sitting in a bathroom stall crying while 2 junior associates gossiped at the sinks. "Did you hear what Jennifer said? About Sarah and the CEO? I mean, there has to be some truth to it, right? Sarah's good, but she's not that good. And David Chen promoted her right after his divorce." Wait, aren't they both Chinese? Maybe it's like a cultural thing. I flushed the toilet loudly and they scattered. David Chen, our CEO, was Taiwanese. I'm Chinese American. We'd worked on exactly 2 projects together in 6 years, both with full teams present. But that didn't matter. The rumor was already spreading like wildfire. By Wednesday, Tom had filed a new custody motion. His lawyer had somehow gotten wind of the rumors and was arguing that my inappropriate workplace relationships and focus on career advancement over motherhood made me an unfit parent. I sat in my car in the parking lot, reading the legal documents, feeling like I was drowning. That's when Marcus knocked on my window. "Sarah, you okay?" He opened the passenger door and slid in, his face concerned. "Look, what Jennifer said was completely out of line. Everyone knows it. We all know how hard you work." "Do they?" I wiped my eyes. "Because it doesn't feel that way. HR has to do something. You should file a complaint." I'd already tried. Tuesday morning, I'd gone straight to David Williams, our HR manager. He'd listened, nodded, taken notes. Then he'd said, "Sarah, I understand you're upset, but Jennifer's comment was made in a joking context. Without concrete evidence of discrimination or harassment, and given that she's your direct supervisor, we have to be very careful about how we proceed. I'd suggest trying to work it out directly with her first." Work it out. With the woman who just publicly accused me of sleeping my way to a promotion. I told Marcus this, and he was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "You know, Jennifer did this before, right?" "What?" 3 years ago. Before you transferred to this office, there was a woman named Patricia Martinez, got promoted to senior manager over Jennifer. 2 weeks later, Patricia resigned. No explanation, just gone. I always wondered why. Something clicked in my head. How do I find her? LinkedIn, probably? But Sarah, even if you talk to her, what are you going to do? Jennifer's been here 15 years. She's tight with half the executive team. You're the newbie director who he stopped himself, who everyone thinks slept with the CEO to get here. He looked at me helplessly. "I'm sorry." That night, I couldn't sleep. Emma was curled up next to me in my bed, having had a nightmare about a monster in her closet. I stroked her hair and thought about monsters. The real ones who smile at you in meetings and destroy you with whispers. At 2 a.m., I opened my laptop and found Patricia Martinez on LinkedIn. She worked for a tech company in Austin now, Senior VP of Marketing. I sent her a message. "Hi, Patricia. We've never met, but we have Jennifer Rhodes in common. I'm dealing with something similar to what I think you went through. Would you be willing to talk?" I didn't expect a response, but at 6:30 a.m., my phone buzzed. "Call me. Here's my number." Patricia's voice was warm but tired. So Jennifer's at it again. "You know what she did?" "Sarah, Jennifer spread rumors that I was having an affair with a married board member. She accidentally CC'd his wife on an email that was written to look like evidence. The wife filed for divorce. The board member blamed me, pressured the company to let me go. I resigned before they could fire me because I needed the reference." My coffee cup stopped halfway to my mouth. That's illegal. Probably, but I was a single mom with 2 kids and no savings. I couldn't afford to fight. I just wanted to escape. She paused. "But you're different. You're calling me. That means you're planning to fight." "I don't know what I'm planning yet." "Then let me tell you something that might help you decide. Jennifer's done this to at least 3 women that I know of, maybe more. She targets anyone she sees as a threat, and she's very, very good at it. She knows exactly how to destroy someone without leaving evidence. So if you're going to fight her, you need to be smarter than she is, and you need to find the others." "The others?" "Every woman she's pushed out. Find them, talk to them. Because I guarantee you, we all have pieces of the same story." I took Emma to school and went to work an hour late. Jennifer caught me in the hallway. "Sarah, glad I could catch you. I need you to present our Q3 numbers to the board on Friday. I know it's short notice, but I think it's important for you to step up now that you're a director." Her smile was saccharine. "Unless you're not feeling up to it? You've seemed a bit distracted lately." It was a setup. I'd barely had time to review the Q3 numbers, let alone prepare a board presentation. If I said no, I looked weak. If I said yes and bombed it, I'd confirm everyone's suspicions that I didn't deserve the promotion. "I'll have it ready," I said. "Wonderful. Oh, and Sarah?" She lowered her voice. "I heard about the custody thing with your ex. That must be so stressful. Maybe you should think about whether this director position is really the right fit for you right now. No shame in stepping back to focus on family." She walked away before I could respond. I stood there, shaking with rage. That night, I started digging. Patricia had given me 2 other names, Rebecca Park and Allison Torres. Both had worked at TechVision. Both had left abruptly after conflicts with Jennifer. Rebecca answered my email within hours. "I'll tell you everything. But are you recording this? Because you're going to need evidence." I set up a Zoom call with all 3 of them that weekend while Emma was at Tom's place. Seeing their faces, hearing their stories, was like looking into a mirror that showed the future Jennifer had planned for me. Rebecca had been accused of stealing Jennifer's ideas. Allison had been framed for missing a major deadline when Jennifer had secretly changed the due date in the shared system. Patricia's story I already knew. Each time, Jennifer had been careful. Plausible deniability, no paper trail. Just whispers and implications and sudden resignations. "She has a pattern," I said, making notes. "She identifies targets, isolates them, spreads rumors, then creates a professional failure to justify the rumors. And she always gets away with it," Allison said bitterly, "because she's been there forever and she's best friends with half the C-suite." "Who's she friends with, specifically?" "Well, there's Robert Chen on the board, no relation to you or David Chen, different family. She plays tennis with him every Saturday, and she's godmother to the CFO's daughter. She has lunch with—" Wait, my brain was connecting dots. "Robert Chen, he's on the board. Patricia, wasn't he the married board member in your situation?" Patricia's face went white on the screen. "Yes. Oh my God. Sarah, what are you thinking?" "I'm thinking Jennifer's been having an affair with Robert Chen for years, and she used your relationship with him to cover up her own, probably threatened to expose him if he didn't play along." "That's a huge accusation," Rebecca said. "Do you have any proof?" "Not yet, but I'm going to find it." The next week at work was hell. Jennifer had indeed set me up. The Q3 numbers were a disaster, and when I presented them to the board, 3 of the board members looked at me like I was wasting their time. Jennifer had accidentally given me the wrong data set, mixing up our performance metrics with a failed product launch from a different division. David Chen, our CEO, frowned through my entire presentation. Afterwards, he pulled me aside. "Sarah, that was unacceptable. Those weren't even our real numbers." "I know, sir. I was given the wrong data set. I only realized it this morning when I tried to verify." "From whom?" I hesitated. Jennifer was standing down the hall, watching us. If I accused her without proof, I'd look paranoid and petty. "I'll double-check my source and send you a follow-up report with the correct information." He nodded, but I could see the doubt in his eyes. Jennifer had drawn first blood, and she'd done it perfectly. That night, I sat in my apartment and cried. Emma came out of her room, her stuffed bear clutched to her chest. "Mommy, why are you sad?" "Just work stuff, baby. Nothing for you to worry about." "Is it the mean lady?" I looked up. "What?" "You talk about her on the phone sometimes. The mean lady at work who says bad things about you." Emma climbed into my lap. "She sounds like the girls at school who were mean to Sophia. But then Sophia told the teacher and showed her the notes they wrote, and they got in trouble. Out of the mouths of babes." "Emma, you're a genius." "I know," she said matter-of-factly, and I laughed despite everything. She was right. I needed evidence. Real, concrete evidence. But how? The answer came from Marcus. He'd been watching Jennifer carefully since our parking lot conversation, and he'd noticed something. Every day at 4 p.m., Jennifer left her office for exactly 20 minutes for a call with West Coast clients. But the company phone logs showed no such calls. And Marcus, whose desk faced Jennifer's office, had seen her leave her computer unlocked multiple times. "I'm not suggesting anything illegal," Marcus said carefully over coffee. "But I am saying that if someone happened to need a file from her office while she was on her mysterious daily call, and they happened to see something on her unlocked computer screen, well, things happen. Marcus, if we get caught, we won't. I'll be your lookout. And Sarah, you need something fast. I heard Jennifer telling the CFO yesterday that she's concerned about your stability and might recommend a performance improvement plan. A PIP, the corporate kiss of death. Once you were on a performance improvement plan, they could document anything and fire you within 90 days. I made my decision. The next day, at 4:02 p.m., I walked into Jennifer's office with a folder in my hand, my heart pounding. Marcus was at his desk with a clear view of the hallway, his phone ready to text me if Jennifer came back early. Her computer was unlocked, email open. I took a breath and started looking. At first, it was just normal work emails. But then I opened her personal folder and found a subfolder labeled RTC with about 50 emails. Robert T. Chen, the board member. I plugged in my USB drive and started copying files, my hands shaking. The emails went back 5 years. Vacation planning, pet names, and several emails discussing the Patricia situation and making sure the story stays consistent. My phone buzzed. "Marcus, CFO heading your way, 30 seconds. I ejected the USB drive, closed the folders, and was standing by Jennifer's filing cabinet when the CFO walked past. He waved. I waved back, grabbed a random file, and walked out. That night, I read everything. The affair was clear and extensively documented. But what was more damning was this. Jennifer had been embezzling money through fake vendor accounts. Small amounts, $5,000 here, $8,000 there, but over 5 years, it added up to over $300,000. And Robert Chen knew about it. Several emails showed him helping her cover it up in exchange for, well, the emails were explicit about what she was giving him. I had her. But I also had a problem. If I went to HR, Jennifer would deny everything. If I went to the police, I'd have to admit I'd accessed her computer without permission. And if I went to the board, Robert Chen would bury it. I needed a lawyer. More specifically, I needed Patricia's, Rebecca's, and Allison's lawyers. It took 2 weeks to coordinate. We had to be careful, do everything by the book. The lawyer, a sharp woman named Michelle Torres, Allison's sister-in-law, reviewed all the evidence and smiled. "This is good. This is very good. Normally, these cases are he said, she said. But you have a pattern of behavior across 4 victims, documented evidence of fraud, and evidence of an affair with a board member who helped cover up the fraud. We're not going to HR. We're going straight to the SEC and the full board of directors. What about the fact that I accessed her computer? Technically problematic, but given that you stumbled across evidence of active fraud, and given that whistleblower protections apply, we can argue you had a duty to investigate. Plus, Jennifer's own emails show she regularly left her computer unlocked and expected people to access files from her office. We'll be fine. When do we do this? Tomorrow. Before Jennifer has any idea what's coming. That night, I couldn't sleep. I held Emma close and thought about all the women Jennifer had destroyed. All the careers ended, families damaged, lives derailed. And I thought about how close I'd come to being another one. At 9 a.m. the next morning, Michelle, Patricia, Rebecca, Allison, and I walked into TechVision's headquarters with a briefcase full of evidence and a letter for the board. We'd coordinated with the SEC, who sent 2 investigators. David Chen, our CEO, was called into an emergency board meeting. Jennifer wasn't invited. I waited in a conference room for 3 hours. Through the glass walls, I could see confusion, people running back and forth, Jennifer being escorted out of the building by security. She saw me sitting there, and her face went sheet white. Finally, David Chen came in with 2 board members I didn't know, and Michelle. Miss Chen, one of the board members, said, "We owe you an enormous apology, and our gratitude. The evidence you've provided has exposed significant fraud and misconduct. Jennifer Rhodes has been terminated effective immediately and will face criminal charges. Robert Chen has resigned from the board. And we'd like to offer you the position of Vice President of Marketing, reporting directly to the CEO with a full review of our HR policies and procedures." I burst into tears. The next few months were chaos. Jennifer was arrested for embezzlement and fraud. The investigation uncovered even more victims, more fake vendors, more evidence of systematic abuse. Robert Chen's wife divorced him, and he lost his position on 3 other corporate boards. Tom dropped the custody challenge after his lawyer pointed out that being a successful executive who'd exposed corporate fraud made me look like exactly the kind of parent a judge would favor. Patricia, Rebecca, Allison, and I became friends, real friends. We testified at Jennifer's trial, watching her try to maintain her composure as the evidence mounted. She got 4 years in federal prison and was ordered to pay back every cent she'd stolen. But the best moment came 6 months later. I was sitting in my new office, a corner office with windows and a door that locked, when David Chen knocked. "Sarah, I wanted to apologize again personally. I should have seen what Jennifer was doing. I should have listened to you sooner. You didn't know." "I should have. And I promise you, we're doing better. The new HR policies you helped design are already making a difference. And," he smiled, "the board wants to offer you the Chief Marketing Officer position, full executive team seat. You've earned it. Really earned it this time." I accepted, of course. But you know what the best part was? That Sunday, I took Emma to Disneyland. We spent 3 days riding rides, eating churros, and wearing matching princess crowns. She didn't know that 6 months earlier I'd been crying in my car, wondering how I'd pay rent. She just knew her mom had promised her something and kept that promise. On our last night, we were watching the fireworks over the castle when Emma squeezed my hand. "Mommy, did you beat the mean lady?" I thought about Jennifer in prison, about Patricia's new VP position, about Rebecca starting her own company, about Allison's promotion. I thought about all the women who wouldn't be targeted now because we'd stood up. "Yeah, baby, we beat the mean lady." "Good," Emma said, and turned back to watch the fireworks. I wish I could say everything is perfect now. It's not. There are still people at the company who remember the rumors, who wonder if there was any truth to them. My ex-husband still tries to use my success against me, claiming I'm never home. And sometimes, late at night, I still hear Jennifer's voice in my head. Makes you wonder what kind of special skills she demonstrated. But then I look at my daughter, sleeping peacefully in her own room in our new house. I think about the 4 women who are thriving in their careers because we refuse to be silent. I remember the new harassment policies that protect employees now. And I think about the USB drive sitting in my safe deposit box, the one with all the evidence. I keep it there as a reminder. Not because I think I'll need it again, but because I want to remember what it took to fight back, what it takes to stand up to someone who seems untouchable. The truth is, Jennifer was good at what she did. She'd spent 15 years perfecting her technique, figuring out exactly how to destroy someone without leaving obvious evidence. She knew the system and how to work it. But she made one critical mistake. She assumed her victims would stay isolated, ashamed, silent. She didn't count on us finding each other. She didn't count on us comparing notes, pooling our resources, refusing to go quietly. And that's the thing about bullies. They rely on you being alone. The moment you're not, their power evaporates. So if you're reading this and you're dealing with your own Jennifer, someone who's trying to destroy your career, your reputation, your life, here's what I want you to know. Document everything. Find the others. Tell your story. And whatever you do, don't quit. Because they're counting on you to quit. And the look on their face when you don't, that's worth everything. Last month, I ran into Marcus in the hallway. He was holding a flyer for a new employee resource group I'd started, Women in Leadership. "This is really great, Sarah," he said. "The company needs this." "We all need it," I replied. "We all need to know we're not alone." He nodded, then said quietly, "You know that day in your car when you were crying? I almost didn't knock on your window. I thought maybe you wanted privacy. I'm glad I did." Me too, Marcus. Me too. Because that's another thing I learned. Allies matter. People who stand up when it would be easier to look away. People who risk their own comfort to help someone else fight back. Jennifer's trial is over now. She'll be in prison for the next 4 years, and her professional reputation is destroyed beyond repair. But you know what? I don't think about her much anymore. I'm too busy living the life she tried to take from me. I'm too busy being the executive I always knew I could be. Too busy mentoring young women who remind me of myself at 25. Too busy taking Emma to soccer practice and school plays and birthday parties. Too busy being happy. And that, in the end, is the best revenge of all.